Aloha and welcome to the Embodied Healing Self podcast with your host, Jen Mons. Each week, join me for soul-inspired, conscious conversations around embodied healing and awakening to your soul's purpose. Thank you for listening in.
Aloha and welcome back. So this week's share is an invitation to join me as I share with you what my end of the year ritual is. What I do at the end of every year is I write a letter to myself, reflecting back on all the experiences of the year, acknowledging myself for both the challenges and the gifts, the adventures and the memories, the losses, the wins, and I create intentions for the upcoming year. And so this week, as we come to an end for 2020, I am opening up for the first time the letter that I wrote to myself at the end of 2019. And I do this before I write my letter for this year about 2020. And as I share my letter with you this week, the first 10 minutes of this episode is really why I do this. And after that, the next 20 minutes is me actually reading my letter. And it gets quite vulnerable. It gets uncomfortable. I'm reading it live, and I share the depth of the human experience in all that was a part of my life for 2019, and I will be doing the same thing this year. And the last 10 minutes of this week's episode are really about me reflecting back on what I hoped to bring into 2020 and what I actually learned. So it's pretty cool. Thank you for listening in. I'd love to know what you think about the episode and what your end of the year rituals are. Hello, friends and family, and welcome back to the Embodied Healing Self. Wow, what a year 2020 has been. We just had the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn creating what appeared to be a Christmas star in the sky. We just had our winter solstice. We've had eclipses with new moons. It's just been such an energetic year. We have a pandemic that we're still in. We had Black Lives Matter this year. And it's just been a year of growth and expansion for all of us in some way. It's a year that nobody could have predicted. And I share this with you because this week I'm going to share with you my end of the year ritual, which is writing a letter to myself. And I'm actually going to open up and read you the letter I wrote at the end of 2019. Yeah, I'll just be curious what it has to say, because whatever my intentions were for 2020, I mean, who knows, right? Who knows what happened? Or who could have predicted what would happen? I mean, I know I'm not alone with the canceled vacations and trips and family gatherings and retreats and all the things that I had to cancel. Some people have completely, radically had to change their lives. Maybe they changed jobs. Maybe they lost their job. Maybe you've lost your job. Maybe you've lost loved ones. Maybe you've been given the opportunity to take some radical personal self-responsibility and alter course. Maybe you've enjoyed the slowdown. Maybe you're one step closer to your truth. Maybe this is the year that you started to really notice who's in your life. Maybe this is the year that you only said yes to the people who you really wanted to create connection with in your life. It's been a wild year, and it's just the beginning. Many people say we are in a time of great awakening, which I agree to. And what I'm noticing is that this whole year has been about different vibrational realities. If you remember, the most interesting things were the podcast that I recorded in March with Kate Northrup on March 3rd about cyclical living, episode 51. And then Josh Trent around finding sanctuary in your breath. And just one recording before the pandemic and one just as the pandemic began, and really just being in a place of noticing that we already needed to slow down. Our culture, our worth, for one thing, there's a deep wound around our worth being validated in what we do. And it's unhealthy. And in my episode with Josh Trent, episode 52, about the breath, we really started to talk about these two realities of fear and love. And so my question to you in this moment is, what are you subscribing to? What reality are you living in right now? And where is it showing up in your life? And how is it affecting you? And how do you feel in whatever you're subscribing to? And how would you like to feel? What would you like to create? What would you like to look differently? And what is the fear around that if you're not living it? We all know that the only thing standing in the way between us and where we want to be and where our soul wants us, where our truth is us, our ego, our emotional wounding, our lack of belief and trust and faith and knowing in ourselves and in God. So what are you subscribing to? Are you leaning into trust? Or are you being controlled by fear? And this shows up in every relationship, right? From starting to nourish ourselves with food, with movement, with connection, with love, with intimacy, with parenting, with what's happening in the world. You can create your reality. So one of the things that I've been doing over the past years that I just absolutely love is I write a letter to myself at the end of every year. And in that letter, I review my year. And at the very end of the letter, I set intentions for the upcoming year. And then, not in the same day usually, but at some point in time, I have a little ceremony that I do where I create a one-word intention for the upcoming year. And I also do this with my kids. I write them a letter on each birthday, and I keep them all. And my plan is to give all of them to them on their 18th birthday so that they can reflect back on what happened during their lives. So much of our life is on social media now that, written information, written remembrance of our life is not such a practice anymore. Same thing with photo albums. It takes some intention to create a photo album from the pictures that we have on our phone and our camera. So I'm going to invite you right now to consider finding a way to treasure your memories. Find a way to treasure your memories this year. Or maybe you start a new ritual of writing yourself a letter every year. So today I'm going to share with you the letter that I wrote almost a year ago at the end of 2019. And I'm just going to be raw and vulnerable with you and just completely read it and share it with you. And then I'm going to share with you sort of my takeaways from it. I will be writing my letter sometime between now and the end of year for the end of this year, which has been quite a transformational year. Once again, it's been a year of illuminating shadows within humanity and in ourselves, and really getting clarity on what are we really a stand for? Like, how do we really show up? Because for most of us, there's been a lot less space for, kind of the bullshit. So it's been super clear. And we've also been asked to have more compassion. And for some of us, that was easy to find. And for some of us, it wasn't. Because if we don't have compassion for ourselves, it's hard to have it for other people. If we don't have love for ourselves, it's hard to have it for other people. If we don't embrace our own shadows, it's hard to do that for others. If we judge ourselves, we judge others. Everything that is our own internal experience is reflected to us through the relationships in our lives. And if there's one thing that has just been a common thread this year, it has, for me, anyway, I should say, because I don't know what is true for each of you, but I think that many of us can relate to the importance of connection, right? I mean, we've been told to social distance and only hang out in small numbers, and yeah, it's really shown us to be intentional about who we spend our time with and how we spend our time. We've had more time because we haven't had to say no to things that we normally maybe couldn't say no to. Like our schedules have simplified simply because of the pandemic. And why does any of this matter? Because we're still in this. We're going to still be in this for some part of 2021, and we get to choose. We are stepping into 2021, whether we like it or not, still in a pandemic, still with uncertainty. And so if you are a person who loves to take some time to reflect and set an intention for a new year, then this is your opportunity to really get clear on what do you want the next chapter, the next year, the next part of your life to look and feel like. And I want to invite you to just really know that it is all within you. What you are seeking is seeking you, as Remy said. So here we go. I'm going to open up my letter, my 2019 letter. So this would be the letter I wrote a year ago, having no idea what was going to happen in 2020. Okay. Dear Jenny, that's what I call myself. 2019 has been another amazing year in very different ways. Challenging in some ways, especially parenting, but very expansive in your work. In January, you came home from a trip from Hawaii, noticing the expanded energy of Linnea, my youngest daughter, through surfing, and her ability to manifest connection and support through her passion. You also welcome your first next level client for a 9-month program. In February, you enjoyed a snowboard trip with your family to Mount Bachelor. It is always such a joy to witness your girls feel empowered in their bodies. And I am so grateful that you have a life that offers space for that. And I honor you for being a mother and a person who can show them what it is like. You also remembered how lucky you are to have, these are my friends from college, Reagan, who will drive all the way down to visit you, and Shannon to see you when you fly across the country, and friends to stay with. In March, you and your family went to the Bahamas, back to Eleuthera, surfed on Surfers Beach, and then on to Dave and Karina's private island. Enjoyed the seaplane and adventures of the Bahama. It was such a fun trip. They always are. And in April, you traveled to Portsmouth, New Hampshire with Heather to Ignite Your Soul Summit with Amber Lillystrom. You expanded your energy. You met several key players and healers, made connections, and gave yourself permission to invest in your business, to be seen on stage, to choose between the balance of motherhood and your service to the world through your work. You are both, and you do both so beautifully. It is who you are, and I know it's not easy, but you manifested the most amazing husband to support you in this. Even the fact that your parents moved to Atlantic Beach from California to your neighborhood so that you could go on these trips to support your purpose as a light worker in the world. You are such a powerful manifester. In May, you and Chris, my husband, traveled to celebrate your anniversary in Denver to see Iration at Red Rock Amphitheater, something you always wanted to do, and you will never forget. You were there on their first time playing, and you got to go behind the scenes. It was an amazing and humbling experience. And you, again, were reminded of the energy and vibration that you hold. A week later, you and Chris traveled back to California for your second Radiant Woman. And wow, was it worth it. This is a deep transformational retreat. You met Stacy of Health Coach Institute, a relationship that will likely prosper. She's the owner of Health Coach Institute. You're such a powerful manifester and so supported by God and Spirit. Radiant Woman was an expression of your healthy and fierce feminine. You were so powerful, embodied, and fierce in your body through your initiation process. Cosmic Love was your song. Your spirit animal tiger came out. It was one of the most liberating experiences of your life to embody both your fierceness and your soft feminine in your body. You wore a black sheer bird of paradise dress and had a flower lei to give Chris. The summer was kind of flat with small waves for surfing. You watched beautiful Miley, my oldest daughter, in her first Nancy Dance recital. And you were filled with joy to watch her expand in a new studio. Linnea continued, whenever there were waves, to blow you away with the fact that every time she goes out to surf, she does something new. It's hard to understand what is even happening. They are both clearly so gifted. It is in their soul, without words to describe. Your family vacation was a trip to Yellowstone, which was very grounding and fun. A week in a motorhome with buffaloes, geysers, your favorite humans, and camping. It was pretty fun, and so different than all your other vacations. Energetically, you do feel alive in places like Sedona, Yellowstone, and Red Rocks. You do feel openings around the rock, the earth, and mountains. Then school began. Hurricane Dorian came. And of course, you did pickups and money collection for Dave and Karina because of your heart for the love of humanity. You know it's small, but it's something. And you always feel like you want to do something for others. What will your charity for cause be when you're a millionaire? I wonder. Your purpose will go beyond your service to clients, for pay to service to the world in charity once you have achieved what you feel you came here to do. Then you went to Portsmouth again for another live event at the end of August. You made connections, signed up many other high-end clients, and had a few one-on-ones with more healers. You are learning that you are meant to be a teacher and a mentor for other healers and coaches. You have been doing this your whole life. You've been doing this year for a while, and it's time for you to step into your truth as a teacher and a mentor. You have so much to offer. You turned 42 September 9th, 2019. You received a beautiful aloha necklace from Chris and went to dinner at One Ocean. In October, you and Chris traveled back to California, possibly for the last time, for a final transformational retreat and workshop. You had a moment where your mentor would not let you go back into your story and your wounded self. It became your time to rise. Servant of Peace was your song. When it started, you embodied the struggle of living in the human condition, and you allowed it to become into your body. You worked through the pain and the discomfort and then surrendered to all of this, which brought so much light and joy to share with everyone in the room. The words you remember were inspiration. You were witnessed as a channel for healing, for joy, and of light. It was truly empowering and a reminder that you are here to experience joy. You know this. And you are great at seeking it outside of yourself through adventure, through travel, through surfing, and all the things that you love. But you are here to learn to remember to choose joy in each moment. Something Chris, your husband, embodies so well and is here to help you remember. You also remember how beautiful it was to watch Chris embody his light and Christ consciousness during his initiation through the song Orange Sky. As if Michael was with him, he looked up to the heavens, and how that was the song years ago your friend Brittany shared with you after Michael passed away. You continue to acknowledge all of the synchronicities that happen, and you are grateful for the awareness to live in the flow of your life. You welcomed more amazing clients, and as each of them came, you welcomed stronger, more amazing women than ever before. And you are feeling more on purpose, charging your worth. You have developed such a healthy relationship with your body, with others, with money and abundance. Abundance was your word for 2019. You welcomed it in many areas of your life, your health, your wealth, your job, your friends, and love. You shifted your perception back to remembering that your truth is that you always have felt abundant. You have always been grateful. November and December were a little more challenging after the sudden loss of a friend, Betsy, through cancer in only 12 days. It was shocking, especially for your daughter, Miley, whom this was her friend's mom. It has sent Miley into a challenging time of life. The challenges came in health and emotional stress, behavioral stress and struggles, bullying, grades dropping, and all of the challenges of a middle school girl, in addition to an extremely challenging loss. It's so challenging to parent sensitive children, and yet it is the gift that has made you who you are today. So keep going through the challenges. For what you are here to learn, you are here to teach. Learning and remember to trust and surrender. Allow your children to be who they are, even if it feels unsafe, because they are so expansive, or when it feels out of control, because it is. It's out of your control. Just keep trusting that you are all they have ever needed, even when you don't think you are, or you feel shame in the ways you have stood in your presence as a mother. You have come so far. Just keep allowing yourself compassion for where you are, and stay committed to the higher consciousness. Stay committed in your knowing of God and grace. Your why you are here and try not to let the wounded healer in you react and create more wounds in your children. I forgive you for the moments where you lost your shit. You said and did things you didn't want to do. You are human. You agreed to a big task. Breaking family patterns is not easy, and you're doing it on so many levels, energetically, spiritually, physically, and karmically. Just stay the course. You are ready for 2020. As I write this on the airplane on January 13th on my way home from San Diego, I feel behind, and I welcome compassion for not starting out the year the way I wanted to or thought that I should, but just in whatever space I am in. I have intentions to get back into my body this year through dance and yoga, working out and surfing, supporting Miley in her dance, Linnea in surfing, and challenges for Miley and her becoming from maiden to woman. 2020 will be a big year. Linnea will start middle school and Miley high school. Stay the course of a devoted mother and wife and stay grateful in your abundant heart and life, and also continue to offer opportunities for others to do their healing work with you because you can and you have to. You choose to. Trust that when someone is not a good fit at that time, that it is divine, and continue on your course to do what you know you are supposed to do from a place of abundance, trust, and love, not fear. 2020 feels aligned and also continues to be an opportunity to welcome the balance in the flow of life. Enjoy. You are blessed and a beautiful soul with a heart full of unconditional love. Your ability to see grace in everyone around you is your greatest gift. Intentions for 2020: to stay in connection with Source and Grace and God daily. To stay in connection with husband Chris daily. To stay in self-reflection, journal, align, and nourish daily. More intention on nourishment and movement. Allow your business to expand organically with opportunities to be seen and shared. Host a retreat in Costa Rica. Host a live event. Support Miley in dance, in who she is. Acceptance to support her dreams. A healthy transition to high school and help her to thrive. Support Linnea in surfing to go to nationals, set up homeschool the following year, and travel for surfing, and be present with your puppy Kala. Try giving her more walks when the weather is nice. I love you. I see you. I honor you. Aloha. So, wow. Got a little emotional when I was reading that. I just want to speak to that for a moment. I haven't looked at this letter since I wrote it last year, and I thought it was interesting that I talked about love and fear, because I really feel like that is something that was very present and very aware for us in 2020. But I think, what really activated emotion within me is the realization of how blessed my life is. Despite the loss and the pain and the grief and the challenges, which there have been many, 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 in many different ways of my life. Many, many losses in loved ones, in money, in home, in quality of life, in health. I mean, I've had all of them, as we all do. And yet, I still feel loved. I still feel held. I am still grateful for life itself, for God, for grace, and for every human in my life. Truly, every person that I co-create with. My love language is quality time, and even the people who've hurt me. And so what I didn't know when I wrote this letter is I didn't know a couple of things. As you can see, the previous year, I like to travel once a month. And this year I have canceled a lot of travel. And that's hard for me. One of the things I love to do is travel with my family. And I've been to 35 plus countries. My kids have been to about 15. It's a value of mine. And so I've embraced and enjoyed the slowdown. I was already choosing to live intentionally before this, so it wasn't much of a shock for me. I was already choosing to nourish my body, to stay healthy. I was already valuing and prioritizing my health. I was already choosing to slow down and be intentional with my time. This gave me more permission to be more intentional. And I think the hardest part of 2020 for me was in June and July, and really around the Black Lives Matter movement was very, very painful for me. It invited me to do some of my own shadow work and to get super clear on what are my beliefs and how am I showing up blessed? How am I showing up in my privilege? What am I doing with that? And just getting super clear on all of that and finding the wounded part of me that wanted to relate to people. And also that following that, in July, one of the things that I didn't speak too much to in this letter, but on the airplane on the way home, I was coming home from the Healers Code in San Diego with my then at the time business partner. We were creating a life coaching school, intuitive life coaching school together. And that business partnership in July actually broke up. And with the business partnership, so did the friendship. And it was very, very painful for me. It was definitely a hard experience to have, even though I know in my heart of hearts that it is completely and totally meant to be. The hardest part was really, it illuminated some of the wounded self within me that I was really willing to work through. But the other person in my life was not. And so my core wound around rejection, because the other person was just willing to completely just drop everything and really wanted to avoid working through what was happening. It just triggered all of that. And I say that because what was on the other end of that is I went into a silent retreat for 5 days and went deep into some internal healing. And on the other side of that was freedom. So it was a challenging year in 2020 in losses that were very different for me. I shared some of the losses the year before, but in 2020, the losses were really around my quality of life, which was really coming from, quite honestly, a place of being very privileged, right? Like, I love my monthly travel and I love my trips with my family. And I had this opportunity to co-create with a person, and that didn't work out. And there was a loss of friendship. And witnessing other people in their struggles and their fears around this pandemic and losing the physical connection with people that we're used to. We had to get creative this year. And so when I invited myself to live in the flow, I was able to do that. I was able to create deep connection through our sacred circle and through an Inner Radiance virtual retreat and through new moon ceremonies. And it became clear to me that the space created energetically, because energy has no time or space, is all about the space that we create, the container that we hold. And so whether it's in person or virtually doesn't matter. Even though, of course, some of us, especially if our love language is physical touch, we really thrive in in-person connections. I was quite blown away by the level of commitment and courage that the women expressed as we came together over the year. So that is sort of my letter to share with you. My takeaways are that my word for 2020 was alignment. And I was really challenged deeply on what alignment meant for me. And the core wound that showed up in my breakup in partnership really showed me that what my alignment was. And my alignment was to live in my own alignment, my own path, to create my own school, to create my own divine assignment to support women. And so I was able to get super clear on what that looks like. I understood what didn't work. I know what doesn't work, so now I know what will work. And so I'm excited to announce that in 2021, I will be launching my own Embodied Healers course, coaching certification, intuitive life coaching certification, and body wisdom coaching, along with an energy intuitive certification and business alchemy course to support healers and coaches that are really willing to create more of an impact in the world. So if this calls to you at all, I invite you to send me a personal message, let me know. And the intention is quality over quantity. We're going to do some deep transformational work. We're going to do some shadow work. We're going to awaken our own embodied healer. We're going to learn about the physical body. We're going to nourish through the chakras physically, emotionally. We're going to transmute limiting beliefs into our greatest gifts. We're going to dive deep into our relationship with abundance around health, wealth, and love. We're going to understand our human designs, develop our intuition that's in alignment with our human design. One of the 6 C's that illuminates and directly correlates with the chakras and your human design. Understand your soul contract, live in your purpose so that you can feel abundant and free and aligned and peaceful, right? Like going back to that song that I shared with you, Servant of Peace. The prayer of Saint Francis. It's my favorite. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. And so, yeah, if you're called to do this, if you're really called to help assist in this great awakening of people who are choosing their reality, answering that question, are you going to choose love or are you going to subscribe to fear? Are you going to break the pattern? Are you going to become the creator of your life story? What are you going to choose this year? And whether or not you want to actually create a career out of being a healer or coach, I have many women that I work with that are choosing to take these skills, coaching skills, powerful questioning, active listening, somatic inquiry, body wisdom, intuitive development into their executive roles at work. So this is just for the person who is ready to help heal humanity, to welcome greater connection in their lives, to welcome more freedom, compassion, peace, and joy in all ways. So if you relate to this, go to my website at jenmons.com and /connect, send me a message or find me on Facebook, Jen Mons Coaching, or Instagram, jen.mons. I'd love to hear from you. We're creating a tribe, a collective of people ready to commit, to devote to humanity, to the collective healing, and a divine feminine energy of nourishment, compassion, support, and also a fierceness to fiercely love, to be passionate, to create, and to hold, to love even the shadow of ourselves and others, to let go of abandonment, to let go of rejection, not really let go, but to embody it and transmute it, to transmute those wounds into our gifts, and to live in freedom. If this resonates with you, then send me a message. I hope that I've inspired you to create some type of ritual for the end of the year. And if you do happen to write yourself a letter, please let me know. I'd love to hear, and I'd love to hear how it went for you, how it felt, or if you have any other type of end of the year rituals. I'd love to hear. Thank you, each and every one of you, for listening in. The numbers are growing. I am so grateful. Please continue to share this episode or other episodes that resonate true with your heart, with other loved ones in your life, so that we can continue to grow and connect and shine and stand in our light and truth together, so that we can become the life force energy of the planet, so that the life force energy is one of trust and love and connection and growth together. I love and appreciate you, and I send you many blessings into the new year. Aloha. Hello, friends. I want to invite you to the Energy Alchemy Experience for 2021. You will learn how to align and amplify your energy flow in your daily life. This experience includes a 4-hour workshop on Saturday, January 9th, with 3 weeks of group coaching, connection, and sharing for integration following the workshop, where you will learn to get clear on your one-word intention for 2021. You will learn how to live in alignment and take aligned actions in your life so that you don't feel overwhelmed and exhausted and distracted by the busyness, but that you feel empowered, aligned, true, and free in your decisions and the way that you show up in your life. You will learn to manage your energy through cyclical planning to stay on track for 2021. You will identify the biggest survivor strategy that is holding you back and create alignment to overcome and transmute the very thing that holds you back. To alchemize is to transform and create amazing results. So if you're ready to be the author of your story, if you're ready to be empowered in your words, your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions, to let go of the I need to, I should, I can't, I don't have, I wish, I hope, maybe next time, then this is for you. If you're ready to open up your arms and receive more abundance and joy and freedom and love and health and confidence and be empowered in your relationships with every way that you show up in your life, then we invite you to join us for a 4-hour workshop, 3 weeks of group coaching, and if you sign up before December 31st, I am gifting you a private intuitive coaching session with me valued at $310. You will also get access to a seasonal intuitive nourishment course, and everybody is usually ready to jump right on that bandwagon, especially this year around health and wellness. You will learn how to eat intuitively right for your body, start out with healthy habits, identify relationships with your body, with food, to keep sustainable healthy habits. And you will also be invited to join the new moon ceremony on January 12th, all included in the Energy Alchemy course in January for 2021. So if you're ready to learn your body wisdom, intuitive nourishment, experience meditation, movement, visualization, connection in sacred circle, learn how to understand your energy management and live in the flow and cyclical living through aligned action with more freedom, abundance, and peaceful quality of life. Reveal your shadow work and your survivor strategies that hold you back and transmute them to create change in 2021. and we invite you to join us. Check out my website at jenmons.com. You can also click the link in my bio on Instagram and also check out events under jenmons.com. Have a fantastic day.
Hello, friends, and thank you so much for joining me today and being a part of this community. I know there are many other podcasts that you could be tuning into, and I am deeply honored that you chose to listen in and be present with me today. I love and cherish and appreciate you, and I want to invite you to join our tribe and Facebook group under jenmons.com/connect. I would also love to gift you your guide to discovering and overcoming the self-limiting beliefs standing in the way of you living in optimal health, more energy, fulfillment, and self-confidence to create an embodied, healthy, whole you. You can find this at jenmons.com/tribe. I also have one small request to help spread the love. In order for this podcast to show up in the feed of social media platforms of other like-minded people, we need reviews. So please head on over to jenmons.com/podcast to leave a review. You will also find other inspiring episodes on that page. So I personally read these reviews weekly and would love to give you a shout out and share your kind words with our listeners. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook as Jen Mons or The Holistic Coach with the W Holistic and Jen Mons, JenMons.com. Thank you so much and have an amazing day. Aloha.